Curry Nation, how you doing, man? Today I'm going to bring you guys Yoru 2.0 setups on every map. Now with Yoru 2.0, the decoy ability opens up a lot of avenues and different ways in which you can outplay your opponent, and you combine that with the Gatecrash and the flash ability, and you can really make some cool plays on defense depending on how you set up. And that's what I'm going to go into in this video. Alright guys, so getting right into the setup, we're on A site on Haven. This is typically a site that is contested by two people. You might have a Sova A long, you might have a Jet in sewers, but this is kind of the beauty of Yoru now. You can contest the site by yourself without any help. So here's kind of how the setup is going to look. You're going to put your decoy right over here, right click it, and you're going to put your TP, left click it against this wall. Maybe wait till like there's 3 seconds left on the timer so you can maximize the uptime. Left click this. This thing is going to go against this wall, and then it's going to hit that corner once that wall goes down. So check it out.
Jump them.
It's going to do this right there, right? The walls go down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to activate this, and I'm going to time my peak here with this Yoru. Here's how it's going to look from the opponent's point of view. Right over here. This is what they're going to see. A couple things are going to happen. They're either going to shoot the Yoru, right? If they shoot this decoy, the decoy is going to flash. You can peek off the Yoru over here from source, and you can get a couple picks. Second, they don't shoot the Yoru. In that situation, time your jiggle peeks with this decoy, right? Like this. So you can maybe catch someone off guard while they're looking at your decoy. Now the third thing that can happen, the Yoru pretty much just kind of fizzles out. Two options. Flash off this wall into this doorway. You can peek, see if you can get a kill. Or fourth option, remember you had your Gatecrash ability over there. What you're gonna do is flash off this wall, TP. A couple things happen, right? Sound effect of the flash masks your TP over here, so they don't know where you are. They assume that the decoy was A long, you're sewers. Now essentially you're A long, and you're peeking these guys in A main while they're potentially flashed. Now we're on C, and I'm going to give you guys a setup over here that's going to be able to contest a C long push or a garage rush. So what these footsteps do is that they're going to create a very slow moving Yoru that is going to make a very realistic peek, whether it's for garage or a long C. So it's going to be something like this. See that? And it doesn't matter if you're coming from C long like this, or if you're coming from garage like this. You're going to see a peak that is going to be very realistic, and you're going to be very tempted to kind of shoot it. So there's a couple different ways you can play around this Yoru decoy. The first thing you can do is play in window. You're listening for footsteps. You're looking for the enemy to rush garage and go on to C. So as you hear footsteps in garage and they're starting to go into this connector, you're going to activate this fake out. He's going to slowly go walk there, and he's going to peek. So imagine you're the enemy that's walking here and you see this Yoru fake out. The first thing that can happen is that you're going to shoot it. If you shoot it, then it's going to flash the enemy and they're going to back off right into garage, and you're going to be waiting right there. You're going to get some easy kills. Now if the enemy smokes the window, what you could do is you can just flash out of it right here, and you can jump down and you can kill anyone that's been flashed by your Yoru decoy. The other thing that can happen is that you activate this Yoru decoy and the enemy doesn't shoot it at all. So in that situation, what you can do is peek this just to make sure that no one's here. You're going to take your flash out, flash, and TP just as the flash explodes. So the flash will mask the TP sound. And then you can peek like this, and you can take advantage of flashed enemies and distracted enemies from your decoy. Now, if you really want to contest C long, what you can do is you can play off this decoy right over here. This decoy, again, he's going to make a fairly realistic peek behind green box. This is a very default position. So this is something that the enemy is going to expect, and they're going to bite on it very easily. But what we can do is we can compound that even more and make sure that they're going to shoot this decoy by really being deceptive with what we do. So essentially what we're going to do in this situation is as soon as the round starts, we're going to start jump peeking right here. Start jump peeking C long, okay? Now, eventually someone's going to see you, especially if it's a C-long rush, they're going to see you. So now they know your position. They know where the real Yoru is. So what we're going to do now is we're going to use the fact that they know where you are against them. Because once they see you jump peek, they're going to be thinking a couple of things in their head. Either this guy's going to try peek, or he's going to flash and peek. We're going to do exactly what they think we're going to do, but we're going to make our decoy do it, and then we're going to peek off our decoy. So again, once you jump peek, the enemy knows where you are and they know your position. What you're going to do, you're going to take your flash out, activate this decoy, flash for him, and then you're going to peek off of him. So a couple things are going to happen, right? First thing, can they dodge the flash? Second, if they dodge the flash, are they going to peek again and shoot at the Yoru? Are they going to have the awareness to not shoot at this Yoru and not get flashed? And then if they have all that, are they going to be able to handle your double peek off the Yoru, right? So there's a lot of things working in your favor. You're using everything the enemy knows against them, and you're being very deceptive, and you're playing really well off your decoy. This jump peek technique can be used in many different situations on many different maps, and it's very, very effective. It helps you get intel, and it helps you get a lot of kills if you execute it the right way. So just keep that in mind. Make sure you try to use this. It works really well. On A site on Icebox. Now there's a lot of cool things you can do on this site because there's so many different angles and different ways to peek. They also added this box over here, and we're gonna play off this in a very cool way. So that's what the first setup is going to be. I'm going to show you maybe a couple setups on this site. I want to just start with something really simple, but something that is still very effective. Something that I found is when you put him in a certain position, his movement is going to be slowed, and it's going to make that movement a lot more realistic to the enemy. So check this out right here. Imagine you're attacking this A site right over here, and you see this decoy right over here. Look at that. See that? See how slow that peak was? So that's kind of what this setup is going to be built around. It's just a very, very slow peak right over here. You're just going to kind of put this here, and that's going to make him do a very slow, realistic peak, almost like a low rank level peak, which might surprise the enemy, and they're going to shoot him because people are so used to the Yoru decoy moving full speed that when you mix in slow decoys like this one, it's going to really throw them off. There's a couple different ways you can play off that Yoru peak right there. Once you activate this one, you can wait for the flash, and then you can peek them like this. The unique thing that you can kind of do with this, if they get flashed by this Yoru, you can also attack them with another flash and try to get kills this way. So obviously if you're playing in this area, you want a TP in a safe spot. So maybe in that situation, you're putting your TP out over there in screens. If no one reacts to this initial peek by Yoru, what you can do is you can just wait. Just wait. Peek with him, and you can just keep going. And that's going to open up some avenues for you. You can also obviously push a little more in with the flash. But typically speaking, if you wait for footsteps and you activate this guy, someone's going to shoot him, and that's going to give you an ability to peek off of him. So a more conventional setup that you can kind of do with this is going to be something like this. You're going to put the decoy like this up against the wall. This is going to make sure that his movement, his peak is going to be very slow, and it's going to be a little realistic. And then you're just going to wait for the wall to go down, and you're going to go on pipes, and you're going to do this. All right, this wall goes down. I do this. Come here. I'm going to let this TP go to the back. Like that. Typically speaking, this is going to be for when the enemy is making their way through this area. When you feel like there's footsteps there and you see some people there, you activate this guy right over here, and he's going to peek. And he's going to challenge all these people in this area. And because this peek is so realistic, it's most likely going to cause them to shoot him. If that happens, they're going to get flashed, meaning you can just peek from here, get a bunch of kills. At the same time, after you activate this, you can also do this to double down your flash. You get flash from decoy, and you get flash from your own self. And now when you peek this, these people are going to be very, very distracted, flashed, everything, everything in between. If you really want to push that again, you can throw this flash right here and then peek them again. Now the great thing about this setup is that it does have versatility. Now if you get countered, if a Sova drone sees you, a dart sees you, if your teammate forgets to shoot the dart, any number of things happen, your position gets revealed, and its setup's not going to work. What you're going to do is you're going to TP out over here. Fairly safe spot, and you can still play off your decoy. That's the good thing about it. When you're in this position, what I like to do, you're going to flash for your decoy, and then you're going to peek off your decoy. So it's going to be something like this. Remember, there's going to be a slight delay before that decoy peaks, so I'm going to activate the decoy, and then I'm going to flash for him. Like that. So, and this is going to give me an ability to clear angles, and I can play off them that way. So the great thing about this setup is it's versatile, and there's something that you can fall back to. B side on Icebox over here. And before I get into a conventional setup, just want to give you guys a cool decoy spot that you can kind of use to clear all of this whole B long area. You can either walk behind them and push and do an early flank, or you can just do it to see if there's anyone maybe lurking or anything. It's a very realistic movement by the Yoru in this, so I just wanted to kind of show that off. Now there's a couple different things. You can either look here and place it down. So this one is one looking this way. He's gonna walk, and he's gonna just do a slow peek over there, very slow peek, and he's gonna keep going. If you want him to go through that doorway, you can literally just ping this doorway before you look there. So look right here at the ping, be somewhere here, for example, and it's gonna be something like this. He's gonna hold here, and then he's gonna actually go through that doorway. And, you know, with all these pathways, you can either walk behind him, you can flash for him, you know, very good for early flanking. You know, you can peek off them if you want. For example, this one's gonna go here. He's gonna stop at the wall, and then just as he's about to peek, I'm gonna swing with him. And, you know, you might be able to catch someone trying to rush this site. If you want to really contest this E-long area, cool thing you can kind of do here, you can put your decoy here, for example. Just jump peek this, like that, right? When the wall goes down. So this is really good for slow pushes as well. Now, enemy obviously sees you. They know your position. It's where you can use some deceptiveness. You're using your decoy from here. What's going to happen is he's going to peek, and you're going to double peek off of him. Because they're going to bite on this decoy because they just saw you, right? And that's one of the cool things you can kind of do with him. This next setup is going to be for putting a lot of pressure on mid on Icebox. So for this, I got a really, really cool decoy path to give you here. It is kind of a pixel perfect lineup, to be honest. You have to kind of stand here, and you're going to look in this general area over here. And what this is going to do is that he's going to get down to tube here, and he's going to shift peek this area over here. So it's kind of crazy. So he's going to make a lot of noise like a realistic person would who's rushing, but then he's going to start shift walking, and he's going to peek like this. Really, really good pathway here. He's going to walk down, and he's going to shift walk at the very end. As you can see, the footsteps stop. It's going to show pressure tube, and what we are going to do is we're going to play in this area over here, and we're going to start pushing. We're going to put some pressure on them, and we're going to play with our decoy. I like to put my TP in a safe spot so I can get out and get to safety if I get in trouble. This wall goes down. You can just activate this guy, and just you can run because his footsteps will mask your noise. As soon as he gets here and he starts shift walking, you want to peek off of him. So just kind of like this, right over here, bang, and now you can peek off of him, and you're going to get a lot of people. Not to mention, there's a chance that they shoot the decoy itself. So this is a really, really powerful setup, and you're essentially taking all control of this area. And, you know, if you have 10-15 seconds left on your Gatecrash, just chill here, take this control over here for this area, let your teammates know what the enemy's doing, and then we can always flank for a post-plant situation, you know, with a couple seconds left. So now we're on Ascent, and I'm going to show you something really cool that you can do over here. This is a great setup to do if you're expecting a rush. So on pistol rounds, on a bonus round for the enemy, put yourself in this corner and make sure you're looking towards this doorway, right? And put it down like this. So just keep that in mind when it comes to the TP. You can put the TP over here. You can put the TP here. Put the TP over here like this. And this is going to put you in a position to do a retake if they do go B. You're going to wait till there's pressure A bay. Once they start trying to attack the site, you're going to let this go, and you're going to time your peek with him. You want to try to time your peek with him. As soon as he kind of crosses that green box, you can kind of peek off of him. There's a chance that they shoot him while he's in heaven, and that's going to give you an opportunity to get people while they're flashed as well. You can also throw a flash before you activate this guy, and that's going to give you more cover. And as always, if you get into a dangerous position, you can always just TP back out. So this next setup is going to be for mid on Ascent, and it's going to help you heavily contest it and take space. And that's kind of the goal of it. You're going to put your decoy like this, right over here. And when it comes to your TP, it's up to you. You can put your TP like this and mark it, or you can put it in tree as a safety valve, up to you. Now the way you're going to play this, I'm going to jiggle peek, keep your flash out, jiggle peek, get this flash out right over here. You want to try to get this flash off the floor and in there. You want to try to flash tiles, and you want to flash mid top. And what you're going to do is activate this guy. When he gets here, you're going to peek tiles. When he gets there, you're going to make your way, and you're going to peek mid top. And that's kind of how it's going to be. So, boom. And then I'm going to peek tiles right here with him. And then I'm going to go here, and I'm going to peek mid-top with him. The reason why I tell you to peek with the Decoy Yoru is because we're assuming that someone is going to be tiles. We're assuming that someone is going to be mid-top. So when they see that Decoy Yoru coming in from mid, they're probably going to shoot it. They're probably going to get flashed. So we peek with that Decoy Yoru because we want to make sure we can take advantage of the flashed person. And if they don't shoot the Yoru and they don't get flashed, at the very least, they're going to be distracted by someone. And you're going to have that split second time in order to shoot that person before they see you. Now in some wild scenario where no one is tiles and no one is mid top, it's up to you what you want to do. You can start flanking depending on where your teammate calls out the people are, or you can just lurk in the back lines, take space, and maybe you get them while they're rotating away. Alright guys, so now we're on B side. You're going to put your fake Yoru over here.
Decoy.
You're going to put your TP either in this area or in this corner. Again, if it is a B rush in this situation, you're waiting for the enemy to try to show some pressure on the site. And what you're going to do is you're going to spawn this guy and then you're going to flash off of it. And this is going to give you a couple good flash targets that are distracted to kind of get some picks on. And then remember you had your TP. As soon as you peek off that fake decoy and flash, you TP here and then you re-peek from here, right? Because that's the last thing they expect. So this is kind of a good way of literally just attacking the enemy from 3 different areas while they're rushing the site. The great thing about this decoy over here is that if this is omen smoked, it's still going to work because the decoy is going to run right through that, right? Now we're on split. We're going to actually get a decoy spot that is actually really powerful for this area right over here. So obviously this is the default position that a lot of people sometimes pick up as an off angle. And you know, they're going to peek like this right over here. So we can actually mimic that with the Yoru decoy. Like look at this right over here. See, it's kind of the same thing. Look into this direction and you're going to look down
Decoy.
and you're going to put it down right over here. Imagine being the guy that's entering sight right over here. Like this is what you see. So you're going to essentially just flash and peek off that. You could do a retake TP, feel the enemies are coming in, just activate, flash, and then I can peek. Now I essentially have 2 flashes. You know, I have the Yoru and I also have my actual flash. And I can peek off this. And remember, like, let's just say in this scenario, you had your TP over there. You know, remember you have 1 more flash left. So if the enemy continues to want to, you know, come into the site, you can do this. And you can do this. And you can maybe, you know, work with that. Now we're on the mid of split. So this is going to be a way where you can take space, put pressure on mid. You want to look towards that area and just put this down like this. This guy's essentially just going to do this. He's going to go straight for market, all right? And then you're going to come around. It's going to be great to contest a rush or even, again, like I said, just get intel. So this wall goes down. We're going to let this TP go. And what you're going to do is you're going to flash right as you activate this fake out, you know, off this wall. So it's going to be like this, flash, that, and now you're over here, right? Now you can keep contesting this, right? You have 1 more flash, so you can do that, 2 different ways where you can play with this execute, right? I did it right at the beginning of the round. If you wait for the enemies to show pressure, if you wait for footsteps, if you wait for them to really push this mid area right over here, and you do this when you hear footsteps from the enemies in mid, it's going to be a lot more powerful and it's going to help you net a lot of kills. So that's the other thing you can kind of do. You stay here, you just, you know, listen for footsteps. Listen for flashes from the enemy, and then when you hear pressure, you can spawn this guy, flash off of him, and now you can peek this area, and you can peek this with him, and you can peek this, and you can keep going. And another thing you can do is spawn this guy, flash, peek off him, flash again, do this, and then peek off this. Now we're on A site on split. And as is going to be very similar to A site on Haven, you have 2 different avenues over here. You have A long and you have the ramp area. So we can contest them by ourselves with the Yoru decoy. So that way we can free up maybe 1 person to go to another site. So the way this is going to work right here is I'm going to put the Yoru decoy right over here like this. Make sure you ping this to get an idea because you really want him focused on that direction to make sure that the movement is optimal. So you're gonna do this, look in this direction, bang, right over here. If I activate this, it's gonna take 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 seconds for him to peek this area. So that's kind of what you want to do in your head. When you're over here, you're gonna activate this, and you're gonna go 2, 3, 4, and then 5, and you're gonna peek with the Yoru in this situation. And now, you know, you might be able to get an easy kill over here. You know, and then you can flash, you can keep pushing. Now another setup that you can do, this setup is going to be more defensive. You're going to let the enemies walk into the site. What you're going to do in this situation, you're going to put the decoy right over here facing this area. So ping that and then just do this. You want to make sure that the peek that he does is as realistic as possible. Let's see how this peek is going to look right over here. See that? That's a very realistic peek right over there. Now you're gonna peek off this Yoru as the enemy is coming from A long onto the site. And you know, you can have your Gatecrash ability right over here as a crossfire behind the box, and you can be over here on A site. Essentially, you're assuming that the enemy's on site, and then you can flash, let this Yoru go, and then you can peek off the Yoru. So you can imagine how this would look from the enemy, right? Like when the enemy's coming in, this is what they're gonna see. They're gonna see a flash come in, they're gonna see this Yoru peek, and then you're gonna be right over there. It's a double peek. Now we're on bind. So on A site, it's going to be a defensive type of setup where you're going to try to contest enemies as they walk through A main. This is what the setup is going to look like. You want to make sure that you line up with this edge of the doorway. If you line up like this, then the guy's going to crash into the wall. So you want to just make sure that it's like this and you put it down. This is how the pathway is going to look like right over here. And that's a very good realistic peek right there. That's what I really like about this. You can do a retake TP that goes into B. You can do a TP that goes over there. You can also just come over here, put the TP into heaven. Very, very good spot. You want them to come in. You want them to show pressure. Essentially what you have, try to time that flash with that Yoru. Boom, he stops. I'm flashing. You see he stopped against that wall. So as soon as he stops against that wall, you flash because now you know he's about to peek. So he stops right here. Boom, boom, boom. Now you have a flash, you have a Yoru flash. They're probably in this area right over here. So there's a lot of stuff that you got going for you. Get a couple kills, come back here, and now you're here. Make sure this TP is in the corner. Make sure it's not here because then you're going to be exposed. You want to be in this corner here, and then you can peek. Now we're on Hookah. So this is something that I'm going to show you. This is going to be an aggressive setup. It's going to either help you contest people that are going to rush Hookah, or it's going to help you take space quickly. So if the enemy's attacking A, you can get to your flank right away. You want to make sure ping this area right here, because when this guy peeks, you want him to look in that direction. Or you can ping this side wall, because that is a very a common area for people to walk into as they're attacking Hookah. So maybe have him peek this, right? So I'm going to set this up. And he's going to look here, and I'm going to put this down like this.
Decoy.
Boom, that's it.
Decoy.
So I have my TP there, and over here the wall goes down. I'm going to let this go, and then I'm going to flash off his peek, and I'm going to peek with him and the flash. That's kind of how this is going to work. It's really going to put you in a good position to at least get 2 kills, and you still have your TP in order to get out safely. And if you don't see anyone, you can just keep pushing. And it's a dangerous setup. You want to do it to catch people off guard. You can do it in the first couple rounds of a pistol round. You can do it then. You can do it in the middle of a game when you never pulled it out. This is not something you're going to do again and again and again. You're not going to get away with it. So again, pick maybe 1 or 2 spots in the game to pull this off. Otherwise, you know, you're going to find yourself dead right away. The next setup I have for you is going to be on B side, but this is going to be more of a defensive setup that's going to allow you to wait for the enemy to push in. Is in this cubby, you want to put the decoy. And make sure you're facing octagon when you do that. And the reason for that is because that's going to mimic a very realistic movement. This is how it's going to look. That's a pretty good peek right there. Right over here, pretty decent peek. So right over here, 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 and then make sure you wall bang that in order to get anyone trying to really push in. And if they're on site, then they're going to be very exposed. If anyone's in this area, it's going to be very bad for them. And it's up to you whether you want to decoy first or flash first. Typically speaking, flashing first is not a bad option either. You flash and then activate this guy, and then you're peeking like this. It could work pretty well as well. So banging this, and then you TP out. Now you're over here, and you can get kills, and you still have 1 more flash, by the way, that you can use in order to do something if needed. We're on Fracture on A site, and I want to give you guys a double peek setup that you can kind of do with the Yoru decoy over here. So what you're going to do in this setup is the location of the decoy is going to be behind this box, and this is what the pathway is going to look like this, and then he's right over here. He's going to do a very realistic peek. So here's how it's going to look from the opponent's perspective. When this guy comes here, he peeks this right here. So you can double peek this area from down there with Yoru over here. And then he's going to keep going, he's going to keep going, he's going to stop. As soon as he stops, double peek this area from there with it. So here we go again, here's how it's going to look. You're going to do this, This guy gets to the top here, you're gonna peek this, he stops, now you're gonna peek this, and you're good to go. Maybe you have a TP over here in A link, so if you get in trouble, you can always get out. Also, activate this and flash with him, so that way you can peek the whole area. It really comes down to you what you want to do. Now we're on B site on Fracture, and I'm gonna show you guys a simple setup that is going to contest that B main rush. Again, you want to make sure that Yoru has that realistic peek. So typically speaking, you peek like this, so you know, put this down like this right over here, a nice and slow peek like that. You're gonna position yourself right over here. On a pistol round, you're not gonna get wall banged in this position. Just make sure you have someone watching this arcade area. Typically, you might have someone in tower, you might have someone over here. Just make sure you're looking at the mini map so you know if someone's approaching this area and you're ready. What you're gonna do, you're gonna stand on this platform. You're gonna keep jump peeking this. You're gonna wait, you're gonna jump peek until you see enemies push in. You see enemies push in, you're gonna let this flash go and you're gonna let this guy go. Now, they're seeing you jump peek, so they know that the real Yoru is there for sure, right? So now they're seeing you jump peek, you throw the flash. Any logical person is gonna think that you're gonna peek off that flash, but the peeker is actually a fake Yoru. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna peek behind this guy. You're gonna double peek with him, and you're gonna at least get 1 to 2 people. And remember, you're putting your Gatecrash, you know, either in this area, you can put it there. You can also put it in tower. You can also put it right over there. Now we're on A site. If you put a Yoru here like this, it's kind of a realistic peek right here, a very nice slow peek, good movement. And the good thing about this is that he just comes and he just gets stuck on this this area over here. So he's just kind of standing still. So that's going to throw people off. They might think that it's just a normal person just taking a peek. So if they shoot this, they're going to be flashed in that open area over there, and it's really easy to take advantage of. So this is really good. We're going to position ourselves over here. In terms of TP, you can put your TP against that wall so you can have another peek. You can put it over there. We're going to come here. When the wall goes down, we're going to stay right over here. We do have our TP to help us out if we get in trouble. Looking for footsteps. If you feel like they're going to start rushing, they start droning. Really good time. Let this guy go here. You can see how he's going to slowly peek this. Very good. And then he's just going to stop. Right? So even if you miss that opportunity to get him while people are peeking, he's just going to be standing there. Very realistic movement. There's a good chance people shoot him. So a couple of things are going to happen. They either shoot him, they're going to be flashed. In this situation, just double flash off that and you can peek and you're going to be able to get a couple easy kills. You can even keep pushing if you want by going into here. And now you've kind of taken the enemy apart. You picked them apart with that one Yoru decoy over there. If they don't shoot the decoy, I would again do the same thing. Just peek, see what you can do over here, right? Because you do have your Gatecrash over there. So now we're on B side on Breeze, and I want to just give you guys a really aggressive setup so you can take this B elbow area very, very quickly and push into their spawn. This is something that you would not do again and again and again. It's something that you would pull out at the beginning, end, or somewhere in the middle of a game when they're probably not expecting it. This is something that is really good if you want to do on a bonus round. You win the first 2 rounds of the game. The 3rd round, your team has Spectres. If you want to take this risk, it's probably okay. So when this wall goes down, what you're going to do is you're going to just run it down. And this decoy is going to be from here. You want it to be like this, okay? This decoy isn't for clearing this corner. It's for clearing the next corner. So you're going to do this. And again, this is going to be very quick. You're going to do this, you're going to flash for him. Now that's going to clear this, and then here, you're trying to clear this. You can even flash again if you want. And you're just going to go behind him. You're going to let him be your meat shield. And you're just going to flash for him if needed. And this way, you've taken control of elbow, and you've taken control of this B main area. Very, very good, especially if it's a bonus round. And if you want to throw this in on a bye round, when both teams have a bye, there's nothing wrong with it. Worst case scenario, you know, no one's here, and now you can tell your team, hey guys, it's probably a push. We're on B site, and I want to give you guys kind of a conventional setup that you can use in a defensive way in order to stop a B rush. And here's how kind of the decoy looks, just so you guys know. Very nice, very realistic peek. In order to do this, just come here close to this wall, look at that default position over there, and just let it go. In case you're wondering, here's how this is going to look to an attacker. Here's someone's coming, and boom, right? It's a very realistic peek, very good. So this is where we're going to play off of. You're going to play this tower area right over here, and we're going to put our TP in spawn, simply because B site can be kind of dangerous when it's being fully rushed, so you might want to out. So over there in spawn, it's going to hit that box, perfect position to kind of TP back out of, and you can put yourself in a position to retake. So the way I typically like to do this is wait for the enemy to rush the site, and then once that happens, what I'm going to do is activate this decoy and then throw this flash, and then I'm going to peek this area and then the area that he's peeking, and then there's a very good chance that people are going to be in this pocket over here. So you're going to have one more flash, and you can kind of use that to flash them out of that pocket, and they're probably going to be on this side, and you can just kind of shoot them, right? So this is kind of how you would do the setup on the B site. Alright guys, I want to thank you for watching this Yoru 2.0 setup guide on all maps. Hope you guys learned something. Hope some of these setups help you rank up in your games. I stream live on Twitch Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, 11 to 4 Eastern Standard Time. Most of the time though, I stream right after I release a video on YouTube. So you can catch me on Twitch every time. And make sure you hit the bell and subscribe to this channel for more great content like this. But anyways, man, thanks for watching this video. I'll see you guys next time. And as always, stay spicy.